I've got 3 special addresses for you and then 3 notes in this section. The first special address is the unspecified address. It consists of all zeros, in other words, colon colon. It is a /128 address. So the unspecified address is the address that a network interface card has when it is first connected up, before it gets any addresses. That is, before it has self-assigned any addresses, such as a link local address, or has not gotten one from a DHCP server. It consists of all zeros /128. The loopback address is all zeros ending in a 1, so colon colon 1. It is used if you want to test an interface to make sure that that jack works, that the network interface card works, that your drivers work. You send out usually a ping on the loopback address, and if you get a response back, then everything is working. It's just testing your system. The IPv4 Embedded address is an interesting one. This was used quite a bit and still is used, but is used quite a bit as a transition between IPv4 and IPv6. So if the router or the device is capable of IPv6, it may have an IPv4 embedded address, which is all zeros, and then you notice some X's here, and then FFFE, and then some more X's. This is a /8, which means the first 2 must be all zeros. And as you can see here, the X's represent the MAC address, but with the 7th bit flipped from 0 to 1, or 1 to 0. I'm not sure why they did that. And then it's got this FFFE in the middle of it for whatever reason. But other than that, it's just the MAC address with that 7th bit flipped. Now the 3 notes. You might still see references occasionally to something called a site local address. These are no longer in use and no longer in the IPv6 standards. They began with FECO. We're not going to talk about them any more than that, other than to say if you see this name site local address, you can sort of ignore it now. Note number 2, at this time, if you see any address outside of these opening bits, the ones that I have up here in these global address, unique local, link local, multicast, and anycast, and so on, if you see anything, or these special ones, outside of those, they are not a valid address. They must begin with one of these sequences that we've already looked at, or they are just not a valid IPv6 address yet. They may be allocated in the future, but at this point they are not. The third note is that other than all zeros, in other words, the unspecified address, no address is valid that has a /128 number. So if you see a /128, it is not valid. All right, in the next video, I'm going to, well, we just put this hex notation chart here again for reference, but I'm going to begin the 9 skills that you should be able to do with IPv6.